Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's lecture, we are going to solve one problem on Miller's law principle. Okay, where we are having the beam, this continuous beam over here, and we are having some internal hinge at point E and F. Okay, and this beam is basically a statically determinate beam. Why? Because at this support, I am getting only one reaction. At this support, only one reaction. At this support, one reaction, and this support, one reaction. Okay, so total reaction will be 4. Okay, equilibrium equations are 2, summation m0 and summation fi0, and 2 releases. One release over at this E and one releases at this F. So this plus 2. So the equation will be 4 minus of 4 will be 0. Okay, available equations are 4, total reactions are 4. So this is basically a determinate structure, right? And now, as you know that in determinate structures, the ILD will be always be straight lines. Okay, remember that thing, and that is very important, right? So in this case, what we need to do, we need to find this problem will clarify most of the things. Okay, so this is a very important problem over here. So we need to find what will be the ILD for support reaction at first VA and VB. Okay, and shear force at the points which point G, H, and I. Right. So first, step by step, we will do this problem. Okay. So first, we will draw the what will be the ILD for VA. Right. Now. First thing, we need to draw what is the ILD for VA. Okay. So for drawing the ILD for VA, we need to release that vertical component VA over here. Okay. So when we are releasing this vertical force VA, over here. So and we need to give the unit deflection in that direction of the VA. Okay. So let us suppose the direction of VA at this point is like this. Okay. So when we are releasing this force VA over here, and we need to give unit displacement along this VA direction. Okay. So the beam will deflect at this VA by unit amount. So this is nothing but unit displacement. Okay. Now if we are giving the unit displacement at this beam, so this beam will bend like this. Now let us come to this support B. At support B, there is we need to have the deflection diagram should be like that it should satisfy the boundary condition. So at B, this point B, this beam cannot move up and down. Okay, and B, there is no moment release, right? So at point B, this beam will become straight, and it will go like this. It is not looking straight, but it is straight. Okay. So this is nothing but this is straight line, and this is point B. So at B, you can see that the boundary conditions are well maintained. Okay, and so this is the point. This is the point E over here. This point E moves to the down. Okay. Now what we are seeing over here is that at this point E, when this point deflected like this internal hinge comes down. Now, and this is the F portion. Okay. Now this will bend like this. Okay. Now this will bend like this, right? So and this portion now if it is bent like this, and this portion will remain straight. This portion will remain straight. Okay, and this portion will remain straight, right? Because as you can see that means at the ILT for this determinate beam will always be consist of straight lines. Okay, so let us suppose if you are thinking that this hinge point can also move down. Okay, so let us suppose if this thing happens. Okay, at this point we are maintaining the boundary condition. These two parts are not sharing with each other. Okay, and the slope at this F point are different. Similarly, slope at E points are different at these 2 points. Okay, so now let us suppose if this point comes like this. Okay, someone can ask, then this beam need to, if want to satisfy this condition, then it should bend like this. Okay, but this thing is not possible in case of the deflection diagram of this unstable structures. Okay, in unstable structure, why? Because why it is unstable? Because I am releasing this one component over here, so this structure became unstable. So it only comprises of straight lines. Okay, so when we are deflecting like this, so here this portion won't deflect, won't deflect. Okay, so this is the ILD for the vertical reaction at point A. Okay, and we can find easily what are the ordinates of point A and what are the ordinates value, right? By using the concept of similar triangles. Okay, these ordinates we can find by using the concept of similar triangle. What I meant by this diagram is that when the unit load is acting at this point, the shear force will always, the vertical reaction at A will always be 0. When the load is acting at this point, the vertical reaction at A will be negative. Okay, so this is negative, this is showing negative value, and this is showing the positive value, right? So this is the basic, this is the case for the ILD for what you can say that ILD for these vertical reaction at A. Now we'll see what will be the ILD for vertical reaction at point B. Basically, in this Mueller-Best law, it is you must know how the beams are deflecting. Okay, that is the most important thing, right? This thing you will learn with help with practice. Okay. Now we need to find what will be the maximum, what will be the ILD for BB reaction. Okay. So for that, what I need to do, simple thing, I need to release the vertical component at BB. Okay. So when we need to give some unit deformations, the unit deflection in direction along the direction of BB. So let us suppose that B, the vertical reaction is acting like this. Okay. Now this will it will deflect like this. Okay. At A, this deflection diagram is maintaining the boundary condition. At A, the deflection will be 0 because A support will not allow this beam to move upward. Okay, this thing is there. Now let's come to the point E. Okay, now this beam, how it will move? It will either where it should go, because at this point we are not releasing any moment. So this beam should go straight. This beam should go straight. It cannot come down, because if it is coming down, then we are releasing the moment at that point. But that is not the case. Okay, so this slope at this just left of this point should be equal to slope at just right of this point. Okay, so this beam will go straight, right? So at this this is the internal hinge over here. Only BB release. Okay, no movement. Right? Now, again, this beam will come down. Okay, and beyond that, this point it will be again be a straight line. Okay, why it is straight line? Same reason, right? Because now you can see that when this structure became unstable. Okay, so the ILD will be only consist of this thing. You can say that what you can say, ILD will only consist of straight lines. Okay, so if this point B, C moves up or down, okay, so this component will have curved lines. But that is not the case. To satisfy the boundary condition, this deflection diagram will become curved. But that should not be the case in case of the ILD for unstable structure. Okay. So the ILD will look like this. Again, here this is straight line. Okay. This is positive. The meaning of which is that when the load is acting in this FC port, this FD portion, the vertical reaction at BB will always be 0. Okay, so as you can see that we are always maintaining the boundary condition. At this point, the slopes are equal, but we are releasing the vertical reaction. So that's why this beam move upward. Okay, at E, you can see that there is only moment release. So slope at left of E is different from right of E. Okay, as you can see there, slope at left is different from slope at right. Okay, and this line should be straight. Okay. So this is the case for the ILD for this BB. Now we'll see what will be the ILD for shear force at point G. Now we need to draw the ILD for the shear at point G. Okay. So when we are applying the shear ILD, when we want to draw the shear at point G. Okay. So at this point we need to maintain the boundary condition. Okay. I'm providing some roller support at this point. Okay. This support will result in releasing of the shear force. Okay. Now I'm removing it over here. Okay. So now, and at this point the shear force will look like this. For this portion, for this AG portion, it will move down. It will move down. Okay. Now you cannot say that this whole portion will be unit deformation. Okay. Why? Because if this is complete unit deformation, then the slope at this point and this point will be 0. Okay. Different will be different. If this is unity, then this should be 0. This shear deformation at this point will be 0, but this will not be the case. Okay. Why? Because slope should be maintained. At this point, we are releasing only the shear force. We are not releasing any moment. Okay. So the slope at this point should be equal to slope at this point. Okay. This is G point. So slope at the left should be equal to slope at the right. So this portion will move upward. Okay, because I am applying the shear deformation in upward direction. Okay, and these two lines are the parallel lines. Right. At point this will go. This E point will go down. Okay, because the slope at B should be maintained. Slope at B should be maintained. We are not releasing any moment over here. And the boundary condition, this B point cannot move up and down. Okay. And when this comes down, it will goes like this. And again, this portion will remain as it is. Okay. So this is the case for the ILD for we are maintaining the boundary condition, as you can see. Okay. So here it is. This value is negative shear force. It is positive over here, and this is negative shear force. Okay. So shear force at G will always be 0 when the load is acting on this portion. Okay. So this is the case for ILD for shear force at point G. Okay. Now we will see what will be the ILD for the shear force at point H. Okay. Now at H point we need to deflect. We need to provide some roller support at over there. Okay. So this is the reference line. So at H we need to give the roller support at H. Okay. This is the way we will release the shear force. Okay. So now when we release the shear force over here, and we need to give the unit displacement along the shear force at H, the shear force will look like this. Okay. Now you can see that if I am deflecting this along this shear, if I am giving this shear deformation along this portion, okay, to maintain the boundary condition, there will be some bending. Okay. So, but this won't happen because this is unstable structure. So for unstable structures, the deflection diagram will be straight only. Okay. So this case won't happen. Okay. So when I'm cutting this portion at H, right? So I need to give the unit deformation along this H force, along this shear force. Okay, and when I'm moving this thing up, this thing moving up, this is point E. This is point E. And why this straight line? Because we need to maintain the slope over here. The slope at this point should be equal to slope at this point. This point will not move because it is constrained by these two supports. Okay, so it will be straight line. So similar thing should also need to be there. Okay, the slope at these 2 points should be similar. So that's why there is some horizontal line. So this beam will deflect upward. Okay, as per the boundary condition, I'm telling you these things. Now, at point when it comes to this point, after this point, again, it will look like this. So this is nothing but this is unit displacement, unit shear displacement. Okay. So up to it is straight line. Then after that it is also the straight line, but with some slope. Okay. There is with respect to this reference axis, right? Hinge point. This is at hinge where the slopes are different. Here the slope is different, and here this point the slope is different. Okay. Now this portion won't bend. Again, the same reason. It will remain straight. Okay. So here we are having some kind of a hinge over here. Okay. So this, by taking care of the boundary condition, you can easily draw these things. Okay. Just like here. We are not releasing any moment over here. Okay. So the deflection diagram is a straight line for this portion. So similar thing should happen over here. The slope should be equal. Okay. So this is the way you draw the ILD for the shear force at point H. Now we'll see what will be the shear force at point I. Okay, ordinates value you can find with the help of similar triangles. It's not a big deal. Okay. Now we need to find what will be the ILD, what will be the shear force for the point I, right? Now this is an important case. Now let us come to this I point. Okay, at I point I need to provide some kind of a ruler to release the shear force. Okay. And at point I, the shear force is acting like this. Okay. So I need to give some unit shear deformation along this force. Let us suppose this point moves like this. And this point moves like this. Okay. This portion will come to E, this portion will again, these are basically nothing but a hinge point. Okay, so beyond that, what I did over here is that I cut the beam at this point E. Okay, now when I cut the beam at this point, when I deflect this by unit amount, this portion won't be affected. This portion won't be affected because there is some hinge connection. Okay, there is a hinge connection. Okay, this won't move upward or downward because it should remain straight, but it can't remain straight because it is restricted by these two supports. Okay, so at this point, when we are applying the shear deformation at E, so this portion will come down like this, and this portion will move upward along the shear force. Okay, so and beyond that, if the load is acting at this portion, the shear force at I will be 0. Okay, so and these two portions. And this way is negative, this is positive. Okay. So you need to realize how this thing. You need to understand that how this thing will deflect. If I'm applying a cut, releasing the shear force over here, how this will move? If I'm releasing the shear force, this portion will come down and this portion will move up as per the direction of the shear force. Okay. So this is the case for the ILD for the shear force at point I. Okay. Because let us suppose this is the beam over here. If I am cutting this beam, it will move like this, and this portion is moving like this. Okay, but after that, this portion cannot go upward. It will release in the bending of the member, which is not allowed in case of where the structure is unstable. Then deflection for the deflection diagram in unstable structure, that it should always consist of straight lines. Okay, and remember one more thing: these two lines are parallel. Why? Because we are not releasing moment at this point, we are releasing only shear force. Okay, so this theta and this theta should be equal, right? So this is the case of the shear force at I point. Now we'll see what will be the shear force at a point just left of B. Okay, so again, we draw these lines. Okay, now this point G. Now we need to find the shear force for the point just at the left of QB. Okay, if the point is just at the left of QB and just at the right of QB. Okay, now when I need to find the shear force just at the right of just at the left of B, so what I'm doing over here, just at the left of B, I'm making some cut. I'm releasing the shear force. Okay, so when I'm releasing the shear force, this is A, this is point B. I need to give some unit deformation along this force. Let us suppose just at the left, the shear force is acting like this. Okay. Now, what is happening? See it carefully. When I apply the shear deformation along this point, it will bend like this, and this will be negative shear force. Okay, and this point cannot move because it is restricted by this support B. Okay, this portion cannot move. So this is just at the left of the B. So the deformation, whole deformation will be, the unit deformation will come from this movement only. Okay, but the important thing comes now. When when just at the left of the B, we are releasing the shear force, but we are not releasing the moment. So we are not releasing the moment. So the slope should be equal. Okay. So the slope should be equal, right? So this beam cannot move upward. Okay. This beam cannot move upward because it is restricted by this portion. Okay. So what is happening from this point? This beam will come down. Okay. And again at F. Then this is point at F. And this is point E. Okay. At this point, we are not releasing any, what you can say that we are not releasing any bending moment. Okay. If you calculate slope over here, this is nothing but, okay, this is theta 1, okay, and this is here also theta 1. And you can see that the direction of both the slopes are clockwise. Okay, so we are not releasing any moment over here. Okay, that's why this portion come down like a straight line, right? Because we need to satisfy the boundary condition also now. At just left of the B, this won't move upward along this shear force. Why? Because this support moment, this B support will not allow it. Okay, and if we zoom in this thing, this is the point B. Okay, this is the point B support. Okay, so this B support is not allowing this movement to take place. Okay, so just at the right of B, it will look like this. Okay, it is take place at very, what you can say that means this portion will move just this portion will be almost be equal to unity. Okay, because it is just at the left of B. Okay, so if we are cutting this thing, still it can move a little bit. depends upon the distance what point we are taking with respect to this thing, left of B. Okay, so just at the left of B, it will look like this, right? The slope should be equal. We need to maintain the boundary condition. The support will be some here. So it is left of the supports. Don't confuse sir why it is moving down. There is support at B. The boundary condition is not maintained. We are taking point just at the left of the point, left at B. Okay. So this is again negative. Right. Now we'll draw what will be the shear force just at the right of B. Again, when we are taking just at the right of B, this point just at the right of B, what I am doing again, I am releasing the shear force at this point, just at the right of B. Okay. So this point cannot move down because it is restricted by these two supports. Okay, this portion cannot move. So this will remain straight line. This will remain straight. Now we need to give unit deformation at point this thing just at the right of B. Okay, so when we are giving the unit deformation, it will go up to here, to this hinge, and again okay, so the shear force will look like this. This is positive, this is positive. Okay, what we did over here is that we just displace this thing upward. Okay, and we need to maintain the slope because this portion cannot bend, so this slope should be equal to this slope. So this is, let us suppose this is point B and this is the right of B, just at the right of B. So if we are lifting this by unit amount, so the slope, you can see that the slope at these two ends are equal, both are 0 degree. Okay, so that's why it moves straight as with respect to its boundary conditions. Okay, so this is the ILD for QBR just at the right of B. Okay, this thing you should see very carefully, right? Now we need to draw what will be the bending moment at G, H and I and B. Okay, all those things you can calculate. What will be the ordinate value? This is unit amount, so you can calculate by using the concept of similar triangles. Okay. Now we need to draw what will be the ILD for G point. Okay, we need to do what we need to do over here. We need to provide some kind of internal hinge. This point to release moment. Okay, so when we are providing the internal hinge over here, how this beam will deflect? It should deflect in unit amount. So this portion will move up G. Let us suppose that G point, the moment are acting in this direction. So along the moment we are giving some unit displacement, okay. And again for this member also, this will look like this. Okay. And the ordinate value of this will be, if this distance is A and this is B and this total is L, so it will be nothing but AB by L. Okay, then by using the concept of similar triangles you can find these values. Okay, at this point now let us check the support condition. At this B point it is not moving upward and downward, and the slope are also equal. Okay, so we are not releasing the any moment over here, so that's why boundary condition is maintained over here. At E we have different slope, no shearing but different slope. At F also we are having some different slope. Okay, this is point A. So we just give the unit deformation along the direction of the movements. Okay, so this portion will move upward, right? We need to maintain these boundary conditions. Okay, like this. If this thing is we are providing it, so it will move like this. So it is moving like this. Okay, so this is the bending moment at point G. Now we'll see what will be the bending moment for the beam when it for the point H. Okay. Now, if we want to draw the bending moment for the point H, what I need to do over here, I need to provide internal hinge, right? So you are seeing that one internal hinge is over here already here, one internal hinge at E and are already present at E and F. Okay. And I'm giving some. I need to give in this. Let us suppose that this H point, the moment are acting in this direction. Okay. Now you can see that. If I rotate along this direction, this moment direction, to maintain the boundary condition, this beam will bend. But this won't happen because in the unstable structure, the deflection diagram will always be straight lines. Okay. So this thing what happens? So what we need to do? We need to apply unit deformation in this case. So unit deformation will be unity. The hinge will move down and it will again look like this. Right? This portion won't move because it is restricted by these two supports. If it will move, then there will be some bending. So which should not be there in case of unstable structures. Okay. So this is only the unstable structures. The deflection will only consist of straight lines, right? So this is the straight lines which we need to consider over here. Okay. So this is the what you can say that the ILD for bending moment at H, where bending moment at H point. This is the unit theta equals to unit deformation. This will be straight line. Straight line. Okay. This is done. Now we need to find what will be the ILD for point H, for point I. Let us suppose this is the reference axis. This is the point I. What we need to do over here? We need to introduce some kind of an internal hinge. One internal hinge is already at point E. One internal hinge already at point F. Okay. Now how this will deflect? How this thing should deflect? One internal hinge we are providing like here. So what we'll do? We'll simply lift this thing. Okay, and this ordinate will be nothing but 2 into 4 by 6 AB by L. Okay, so this is the internal hinge over here. Beyond that, it will be a straight line. Beyond E and F, it will be straight line. Straight line. Again, this is straight. This will be straight line. Okay, now we need to draw one thing I forgot to write. We need to draw what will be the shear force for point shear force at key. ILD for shear force at key E point. Okay, so if we want to draw the ILD for shear force at E point, at E, B, at E we are already having one hinge over here. Okay. Now, if I am applying one cut over here, if I am releasing the shear force over at this point, Okay, and I need to give, let us suppose the shear force acting at this E point is in this direction. So if I apply the unit deformation in this direction, this beam need to bend. This beam need to bend to maintain the boundary condition. The boundary condition look like this. If I want to give the shear displacement, it should bend like this. But this thing won't allow. Okay, because this thing we have already discussed. Okay, so we need to give shear displacement along this direction only. 1 inch is at F. Okay, so if I apply the shear deformation in this direction, it will bend like this. It will deflect like this. So this is the shear force for QE, and the ordinate will be nothing but this is unit deformation, and this distance is nothing but 6. So you can find. There is nothing to find. Okay, so this will be the ILD for shear force for the point E. At E, we are having the hinge. Okay, so this is the important case, right? So basically, you need to maintain the boundary conditions. Okay, that is the most important thing to draw the deflection diagram in case of Mueller-Breslau principle. Okay, guys. So guys, this is a detailed problem we discussed in Mueller-Breslau principle. Okay. So if you have any doubt regarding this problem, you can write in the comment section. Okay, basically you need to follow one important thing which I would like to say is that you always need to think about the boundary conditions. Okay, and in ILD of the unstable structure, or you can say the determinate structure, it became unstable after we are releasing some internal force or some external reaction. Okay, so for that, if we are drawing the deflection diagram for the unstable structure, it should always consist of the straight lines, right? And ILD for determinate beams will always be straight line. This is an important thing which you need to memorize, or you can say that which you need to keep in mind while drawing the ILD for this thing, determinate beams. Okay, so this problem is over. So if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. Okay, guys. So thank you very much.